What's going on, guys? I'm Flynn Masters, and welcome to part 2 of the most iconic moments from every Survivor season. If you have not watched part 1 yet, I would check that out, as it covers seasons 1 through 20. Today, for part 2, we'll be looking at the most iconic moments from seasons 21 to 41. With that said, let's finish up the list. And unfortunately, we'll be starting with the Dark Ages now, with Survivor Nicaragua being first up. And yeah, far and away the most iconic moment from this season was the Double Quit episode. And obviously, this is iconic for all the wrong reasons. And to be honest, there really isn't anything else from this season that stands out. You have a couple good tribal councils here and there, a couple shining character moments, but really, Nicaragua is a low point in the Survivor franchise. So I feel it's best to highlight one of Survivor's most likable winners ever in Fabio. Whether you think Fabio is a genius or a bottom 5 winner, nobody can deny that he's one of the most likable personalities to ever win Survivor, and without question, a shining light in this season.
Fabio rides a white horse and does butter commercials and is kind of a cheeseball. It's whatever. Dude, I don't care what they told me. I'm gonna win for $1 million. So I guess my nickname's Fabio. Pee real quick.
Are you really? Fabio, what are you doing right now?
I'm getting on the pedestal, Joe.
What were you doing?
I'm using the restroom.
In the pool.
The water's so dirty anyways. Look at it. I mean, doesn't everybody pee in the pool?
I don't know, does everybody pee in the pool?
No.
I gotta concentrate, okay? You can't concentrate when you gotta pee.
Fabio is fully relieved now. He is ready to defend against Neonka. Chase can't do it. 3, 2, 1. Sash drops his coins. Fabio wins final immunity and will go to the final 3.
Excellent job, Fabio. Excellent work.
Good job, bro. 1 vote left. The winner of Survivor Nicaragua, Fabio.
Now on to Redemption Island. And despite this season usually being considered Survivor's worst season, I think there's a clear standout moment here that really highlighted just how dominant of a player Rob was. After Matt was blindsided at the second tribal council in Redemption Island, he fought his way back into the game, which gave Ometepe 7-5 numbers over Zapatera at the merge. However, after being blindsided, Matt didn't know if he could fully trust Rob and openly played both sides. So, Rob pulled off essentially a $1 million move. He got the Ometepe 6 to once again blindside Matt, which would not only mean they got rid of a possible swing vote, but this would also waste Zapatera's idol and would give Ometepe 6-5 numbers, who are an absolute unified 6, giving Zapatera no chance. Especially now, since they no longer had an idol. No matter what you think of Rob, this move was absolutely brilliant, and the move that led him to winning Survivor.
If anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so.
I want to play this and on Mike.
Okay, you're giving this to Mike. This is a hidden immunity idol. Any votes cast against Mike will not count. First vote, Grant. Grant, 2 votes, Grant. That's 3 votes, Grant. 4 votes for Grant. 5 votes for Grant. Steve. 5 votes for Grant, 1 vote for Steve. Matt. Matt. 2 votes, Matt. 3 votes, Matt. Matt. 4 votes, Matt. We're tied. 5 votes, Grant. 5 votes, Matt. 1 vote, Steve. 8th person voted out of Survivor Redemption Island. Matt. Need to bring me your torch. Matt, Once again, the tribe has spoken.
The next season, South Pacific, we also got a bunch of shenanigans involving Redemption Island. However, this season definitely produced a lot more good moments, such as Cochran's flip, Ozzy giving up his game to go to Redemption Island, and solidifying his place as the biggest challenge beast in Survivor history with his performance this season. However, in yet another all-time important moment in Survivor history, 22-year-old Sophie upset Ozzy in the final immunity challenge, who seemed to be unstoppable. Not only did this stop Ozzy from winning South Pacific, but it also stopped the dark possibility that we could get Redemption Island every season. As if a returning player once again won this season, Jeff could simply bring in his favorites every other year to win Survivor with Redemption Island as a safety net. It's truly a forgotten important moment in Survivor history from one of Survivor's most underrated winners.
Sophie has her fourth piece of the puzzle. Sophie has her fifth piece of the puzzle. Sophie has her sixth piece of the puzzle. Sophie with her seventh piece. One piece left. Coach turns to watch now. Ozzy still fighting. Sophie wins final immunity! Woo!
So close. So far away. Yet again.
Survivor One World now, eh? Oh man, Survivor, you're making this tough. Now, of course you have everything with Colton and Kim this season. However, obviously the things Colton said and did don't need to be brought up again. And while Kim played the most dominant game ever to some people, her signature moments this season are really not that memorable. To me, the most iconic moment from Survivor One World comes from one of my personal favorite contestants of all time, in Troyzan's Final 9 episode performance. After realizing it was literally 8 against 1, Troyzan went insane trying to find cracks, and definitely knew he needed immunity to stay in the game.
Troyzan knocks out his third target. Come on! He's moving on to the final.
This is my island. You can't beat me.
Shut up, man.
Please.
You're not getting
Oh my God. Please knock this fool out.
Troyzan knocks out his third target in a row.
Yes!
Troyzan wins immunity.
Yes!
Don't with me.
That's like 9 people on the jury that you just lost.
You just bought one round, that's it.
I'm gonna continue like that. I'm competitive.
Let's go then. Bring
right.
it. Keep
Good.
bringing it.
Come on.
Keep bringing it. Let's go.
You guys are scared to death.
Oh, really?
What?
I've been going 50%, so I'm like, now let's go. You know, you want to keep scrambling? Do it.
It's one of the most prominent single-player episodes in Survivor history, and is without question one of the best things to come out of One World, even if you don't personally like Troyzan. I debated on what to do for Survivor Philippines. It's obviously a season that saved Survivor in some ways, and the standouts here all had their moments. Denise and Malcolm going all the way to the Final Four despite being on the terrible Matt Singh tribe, Penner's amazing underdog run, and some other fantastic character moments from the likes of Abby and Lisa. But for me, this season produced one of the best non-idol play tribal councils of all time at the Final 10 in Jeff Kent's Blindside. So going into the episode, it was essentially everyone against Penner, but believe it or not, he clutched up and won immunity. With that, the scramble started. Lisa wanted to blindside Malcolm, who had an idol, but Malcolm caught her red-handed, so the Tandang Alliance switched their votes to Jeff. The Kalabal Alliance also wanted to blindside someone with an idol in Abby, but knew it would be risky, so they changed their votes to Pete. It's simply one of the most chaotic scrambles before a tribal council of all time, with basically half the players' names being on the chopping block, and ultimately ended in Penner for some reason switching his vote from Pete to Abby, causing Jeff to go home.
Jeff, that's 4 votes, Jeff. Pete, 4 votes, Pete. 4 votes, Jeff. 1 vote left. 9th person voted out and the 2nd member of our jury. Jeff, need to bring me your torch. Jeff, the
tribe has spoken.
You know what pisses me off? Is I think I've made about $60 million playing baseball, and I want this freaking $1 million in this game. And it's not even $1 million, it's 600 grand by the time Obama takes it. I'm a Game 7 World Series loser. You know, I've played in the biggest games in the world and the worst games in the world, but this just sucks.
No matter what you think of Philip, you can't deny what a character he was. And despite being such a loudmouth personality, it took 2 idols to knock him out of the game. Yes, the most iconic moment from Survivor Caramoan is the double idol play from Eddie and Malcolm. Not only was this epic in general, but nobody knew about Malcolm's idol until he pulled it out at Tribal, making the 3 amigos safe and caused the Majority Alliance to scramble on the spot. And whether you think the 3 amigos did the right thing here, for many fans, it was simply a relief to finally see Philip out of the game.
We're kind of like we have the plague or something. But this is supposed to be a game, so we figured we'd do something about it. And tonight we're gonna try to. So this is the other immunity idol I've been hanging on to. I'm giving it to Eddie. Yeah, I had that one for a while. I just found the other one today. So just to be clear,
Hold tight. The looks on faces. Andrea can't even look up. Malcolm, this is rare when Tribal gets this crazy. Are you aware that Don and Brenda are talking? Cochran and Eric are whispering. Andrea's got her hand in her face. What a shift.
That was the idea. That was...
People are still whispering. There must be paranoia right now from everyone going, are they saying my name?
Except the 3 amigos were.
For once. If anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so.
Yeah.
Cute. First vote, Malcolm. Does not count. Eddie. Does not count. Philip. 1 vote, Philip. 2 votes, Philip. Eleventh person voted out, the second member of our jury. Philip, that's 3, that's enough. Need to bring me your torch. Philip, the tribe has spoken.
Thank you.
Survivor Blood vs. Water. I mean, come on. Only 5 words need to be said. She voted out her mom.
11th person voted out of Survivor Blood versus Water. Laura, that's 5, that's enough. Need to bring me your torch.
Sorry. I love you. I'll come back for you. Have fun. It's okay.
Laura, for the second time, the tribe has spoken. Once again, you will have a chance to get back in this game. Grab your torch, head to Redemption Island. Good luck.
Love you. Love you.
During this past summer, Survivor gained thousands of new fans, and that was in large part due to them watching the amazing season of Survivor Cagayan on Netflix. I mean, so many great moments from this season. The brains collapse, the amazing blindsides and fights, and of course, Survivor got its first true over-the-top character winner in Tony Vlachos. But to me, the most iconic moment from this season comes at the merge, with one of the most iconic vote-offs ever in Sarah's blindside. The numbers were clear. The new Apari had 6-5 numbers over the new Solana. However, Sarah was the clear swing vote, as she was the lone brawn on Apari and could easily flip back with Wu, Tony, and Trish. However, Cass saw this and thought it was BS nobody else saw what Sarah was doing. But then at Tribal, Tony played his idol on LJ, only for LJ to play his idol on Tony. But then, it all went for naught, as Apari voted for Jeffra. And then finally, it all came to a climax, as Chaos Cass had one of the most iconic flips ever, and when it was all said and done, Sarah, who thought she was the swing vote, was the one to go home. Simply amazing TV.
7th person voted out and the first member of our jury. Sarah.
Bang, bang.
Who flipped? Not me.
Cass.
Cass.
Sarah, tribe has spoken. Time for you to go.
Thanks. Good luck, guys.
Thanks, Sarah.
Cass. Thank you.
That's right, Cass. Good job. We lost 2 immunity idols, but we'll get them back again.
Cass, 0 chance of winning the game.
It's a long way to go.
In San Juan del Sur, we got arguably one of the best post-merges ever, and saw easily the best endgame performance from a winner ever in Natalie Anderson. And in what many people call the flashiest move by a winner ever, she showed everyone on the jury that she was the one in full control.
If anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so.
Yeah. I guess time to get the idol out of the bag. So I was gonna play this for myself tonight, but idols are more fun when you play them for somebody else. Jacqueline, did you vote for who I told you to vote for? I'm playing this for Jack.
Okay.
I liked her.
Any votes cast for Jacqueline will not count. I'll read the votes. Jacqueline does not count. Jacqueline does not count. Jacqueline does not count. Baylor. That's 1 vote Baylor, 1 vote left. The 13th person voted out and the 7th member of our jury, Baylor. Need you bring me your torch?
Love you.
I'm going to once again cheat a little bit here for Worlds Apart, but similar to Nicaragua, can you blame me? Far and away the most memorable moments from this season are all extremely ugly. However, the saving grace, and one of the only true good guys from this cast in Mike, was able to clutch up and win 5 immunities, as he literally needed every single one. It's one of the real Cinderella finishes in Survivor history.
Mike with his 6th ball. Taking his time. For immunity. Mike wins individual immunity. Guaranteed a 1 in 8 shot at winning this game. This is it. Day 29 for immunity. Rodney can't do it. Rodney is out. Mike wins individual immunity for the 2nd time in a row. Safe tonight at Tribal Council. We are neck and neck right now. Mike wins individual immunity, guaranteed a spot in the final 5.
Thank you, Jesus.
Mike has it. Mike wins individual immunity for the 4th time, guaranteeing himself a spot in the final 4. Mike down to 1 piece left. Is this it? Mike, individual immunity, his 5th, guaranteed a spot at the final 3. Thank you, Jesus.
The winner of Survivor, Mike.
Good job, buddy.
In Survivor Second Chance, while the character moments lacked, we saw arguably the best gameplay in Survivor history, with even Season 2 players playing extremely hard. However, the absolute star of this season was Kelly Wentworth with her 2 idle plays. Now, while her second idle play caused a no vote tribal, which was a first in Survivor, to me, her first idle play this season will always stand out. Not only did she neglect the most amount of votes ever, but the Witch's Coven idled out the hated Savage when it was heavily spoiled that Fishback would be the one to go here, making the play even better. And of course, this gave us the iconic phrase,
Wentworth will not count. Wentworth will not count. Wentworth will not count. Wentworth will not count. Wentworth will not count.
Funny.
Wentworth will not count. Wentworth will not count. Wentworth will not count. Wentworth will not count. Savage.
All right, baby.
Unbelievable.
8th person voted out and the second member of our jury. Savage. It's 2, that's enough. You need to bring me your torch. That's all. Savage, charge spoken. Time to go.
Good deal, Andrew.
You made it to the jury. Oh, right back at you.
In Survivor Co. Wrong, Survivor casted one of the nastiest players to ever play the game, in Scott Pollard. Him and Jason basically made fun of Alicia nonstop, put the tribe's fire out after they were blindsided, and in general, he had a very nasty attitude. And to make matters worse, it looked like him and Jason were going to make it to the end, as they brought Ty into their alliance, and the 3 had a super idol in between them that obviously scared everyone else in the game. And after Jason won immunity at the final 8, Aubrey looked all but finished, as the majority 5 didn't have enough votes to split on Scott and Ty. So, Ty and Scott could use their super idol to idol Aubrey out of the game. However, with her Survivor life on the line, Aubrey absolutely destroyed it when talking to Ty, and got him on board to flip on Jason and Scott.
I'm relying on you putting yourself out there. I want you to be comfortable. This is your game. You're making a big move. And I'm telling you, you have 3 people behind you. I'm positive.
Okay.
So at Tribal, Ty flipped his vote to Scott, giving us one of the most satisfying blindsides in Survivor history.
That's 3 votes Scott, 2 votes Ty, 2 votes Aubrey. 1 vote left. Ninth person voted out, the 4th member of our jury, Scott.
What's going on? Wow. Wow.
Scott, the tribe's spoken.
Despite Millennials vs. Gen X producing so many great moments and blindsides, I want to focus on a character moment here. Jay and Adam were basically enemies in the game, as they were both big-time players in the opposing alliances. However, in one of the most heartwarming moments in Survivor history, the 2 were able to put their differences aside and bond over their ailing mothers.
Can I tell you something that I haven't told anyone in this game? What? My mom has stage 4 lung cancer. And she's already been through 3 treatments. And I found out when my brother came that the 3rd one isn't working either. That's why this means so much to me. I'm doing it for her. She wants to watch me get to the end. That's why I can't waste this opportunity.
I've been scared the past 9 years that my mom's gonna die, bro.
I'm so scared.
I love my mom just like he does, and it's crazy because like my mom's got
Brain aneurysms?
me and Adam are both out here for our families, for our moms. He's not a weasel in my book anymore. He's a good freaking dude. He's a warrior.
It just goes to show the type of game Survivor can be, and how two people from completely different walks of life, with two very different personalities, who aren't even working with each other in the game, can still bond over something as hard as this. Out of all the emotional moments we've seen in Survivor, I think this scene pulled at the heartstrings of viewers more than any other scene in Survivor history. Now on to Survivor Game Changers, and yes, I'm going to do it. The most iconic moment from this season is Cirie's default elimination. And I know, I'm trying to avoid bad moments here, even if they were iconic. And let's face it, seeing Cirie go home after not even receiving a vote not only was frustrating, but highlights all the problems with modern Survivor. However, I think it's only fitting that we highlight how great Cirie is, that in an all-star season, where she was one of the only few deserving players to be casted, she was able to make it all the way to the final 6, and it took literally every advantage possible to send her home.
Chair. Have an idol, it's a blue idol. I like to play for myself.
Okay.
And have another one, a red one. I would like to play for Aubrey.
Thanks, Ty. These are both hidden immunity idols. Any votes cast for Ty or Aubrey will not count.
Hey, Jeff. I've got a secret advantage, which is a legacy advantage. This is only good for right now, and I don't need a souvenir, so there you go.
All right. This is the legacy advantage. Any votes cast for Sarah will not count.
Jeff?
Oh my God!
I'm gonna get on the immunity train and give you that because I just feel like being in the final 5.
All right. This is also a hidden immunity idol. Any votes cast for Troyzan will not count. So, any votes cast for Ty, Aubrey, Sarah, Troyzan will not count. You could not vote for Culpepper. He had immunity, which means, Cirie, it doesn't matter what votes are in the urn, because the only person who can receive votes
Me.
is you. Cirie, you came out here 11 years ago to play this game. You've played it 4 times now. You famously got up off the couch to see what you were made of. You had another moment this season where you conquered a personal obstacle. If this is the end of your Survivor run, what is the story?
This has been one of the most grand experiences of my life. It changed me. I would have never done any of this stuff if I didn't get off that couch 11 years ago.
Cirie, I have to say, you've played every day of Survivor with grace, and it has been an honor to have you be a part of the Survivor family. You are the 15th person voted out of this season. You become the 8th member of the jury. You need to grab your torch.
Sure.
Cirie, you want to say it?
The tribe has spoken. Oh, thank
Time for
you,
you to
Jeff.
go. Thank you, sir.
It's a very bittersweet moment for me, but I'm so thankful to have had every single day. I'm going to encourage my boys and my family to get off the couch and live, because look at what you miss out on if you don't try. Look out, world. You never know where you might see Cirie.
A kind of similar instance here for HHH, as while Ben's idol plays were certainly iconic, they were iconic for all the wrong reasons. Instead of actually using a social game, players could rely on idols and twists to get to the end and win Survivor. However, nobody can deny the legitimacy of his first idol, which culminated in the first non-final 3 1-0 vote in Survivor history.
If anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so.
Hey, Jeff. I made this one for my wife, but when I went to read my letter, put the rock, my wife led me to this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this one for myself.
Thank you. This is a hidden immunity idol. Any votes cast for Ben will not count. I'll read the votes. Ben does not count. 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 1 vote left. 12th person voted out, the 5th member of our jury. Lauren, need to bring me your torch?
Good game, Lauren.
Can't get around this. What happens?
Lauren, the tribe has spoken.
Now on to Survivor Ghost Island, and I mean, come on, let's not beat around the bush for this one. It's the tie vote final tribal council, and I think it's only fitting that arguably the greatest duo in Survivor history were the ones to hold this distinction as the first and only tied vote final tribal council in Survivor history.
All right, I'm going to read the votes. What?
I thought he was joking.
Oh my God. First vote, Dominic. Wendell. Dominic. 2 votes, Dominic. Wendell. 2 votes, Dominic. 2 votes, Wendell. Dominic. That's 3 votes, Dominic. Wendell. Dominic. That's 4 votes, Dominic. Tied again. 4 votes, Dominic. 4 votes, Wendell. That's 5 votes, Dominic. 4 votes, Wendell. 1 vote left. Wendell. For the first time in 36 seasons of Survivor, we have a tie. Here's what happens in a tie. The person who is not tied, Laurel, you become the 11th and final member of our jury, and you will cast the deciding vote.
For the first time ever, there is only 1 vote in here. I will read the vote. The winner of Survivor Ghost Island, Wendell.
Oh, Survivor David vs. Goliath, one of the few bright spots in these past couple of seasons. So many great blindsides and amazing characters, and is a top 5 season for most people. However, for me, the most iconic moment from this season is the Final 10 Immunity Challenge, where Christian and Alec faced off for over 5 hours. A couple things made this so great. This was the first long How Bad Do You Want It challenge we had seen in some time. we also got to hear Christian be absolutely hilarious the entire time. And in general, this was the perfect metaphor for the David vs. Goliath theme. A geeky nerd in Christian was able to outlast the challenge beast Alec, who was literally casted on the Goliath tribe for his Greek god look. Not only does this sum up the theme of the season, but it sums up how great and unpredictable Survivor can be.
Hey, Jeff.
Yep.
Is it okay if I tell a story to pass the time? Is that all right?
Yeah.
So I was working on a project that it was about plant root growth.
Stay focused, Christian.
This helps me focus, Carl. Thank you.
Got you, babe.
So it's my job to sort of quickly throw together a circumnutating plant robot. So I'm taking a bunch of parts and just basically I had to tell people that, look, it's one thing to have a robot. That's the sort of thing we think about, like exoskeleton research.
Oh my God, bro.
Who's up for 20 questions? Hey, Probst, I'm starting to look at this as a different kind of opportunity, Jeff. You're kind of my captive audience. Do you know what a Reuben sandwich is, Jeff? You know what a macaron is, Jeff? Or kind of little tiny, little colorful sandwiches? I never grew a beard in my life, Jeff, by the way. Jeff, by the way, now you know what it's like to live with me. You're hearing my voice for hours. It's torture.
Christian, you're safe. I'm not.
I know. I know how you must feel in this moment. And I hear you. I might never get this opportunity again. I'm sorry.
Alec just drops out. Christian can't believe it. Christian has just won individual immunity after 5.5 epic hours. No idea what just happened.
The only bad part is, us Survivor fans want to see the full unedited version of the challenge, which unfortunately will probably never happen. With all due respect to Edge of Extinction, really the entire season is pointless due to its finale, so let's highlight the finale here. At the final 5, third boot Chris Underwood would not only earn himself a spot back in the game, but he would unbelievably go on to win Survivor. The first time ever a person voted out would come back to win the game. And no matter what you think of Chris, his performance this episode was something else to watch unfold. And it all culminated in one of the ballsiest moves of all time.
I came into this game wanting to have no regrets. And I wouldn't want there to be any other way for this season to end. It's the biggest risk I'm taking. So tonight, I am offering up my immunity necklace.
Oh my.
Giving it to Julie.
For real?
This is yours, Julie. And I will be making fire against Rick Devens tonight.
And Chris's fire starting to hit the rope. First bits of rope starting to burn. It's over. Chris has earned his way into the final 3 in a historic move, taking on Devens.
Good job, bro.
Straight up showdown.
Survivor Island of the Idols. Oh man, we're really gonna have to stretch for this one, aren't we? We all obviously know the moments from this season that turned into mainstream news, but even despite that, there's really nothing memorable here. However, despite this season being a season people want to forget, I think people discredit Tommy Sheenan's game because he's a forgettable winner on a season people want to forget. But in reality, I think he played one of the best all-around games in Survivor history. The guy dominated from the top and found his way out of trouble when he was on the bottom, and this was especially prevalent at the final 11. After a twist, Tommy was not only the only man in the tribe going to tribal that night, but he was the only original Vokai member. However, he used his insane social game to somehow survive this vote.
Missy has brought up my name to knock me out tonight, so of course when you bring up my name, I'm coming after you. So Karishma went from the most unpopular kid in class to now the most popular kid in class, where everyone wants her vote.
Is it okay if we talk more? Sure.
Missy hasn't been really nice to Karishma. I view her as a person and not as a goat. She does get bullied on this island, and I didn't have the easiest childhood with that. So Karishma, I hope she realizes that I actually care about her and want to work with her. Besides, Missy never wanted to play with you before this vote.
11th person voted out and the 5th member of our jury. Missy.
Yo, who did it?
Came after me.
Again, most people want to forget about this season, but I think this is low-key one of the best cases of maneuvering in Survivor history, especially by a winner. And while Tommy is a boring person on Survivor's version of Big Brother 15, I think it's a shame his amazing gameplay will be neglected over the years. Speaking of winners, we're now on to Survivor Winners at War. Oh, how great it was to watch 20 winners on our screen. And yes, while the season was disappointing in some ways, it did give us the birth of the king and the slaying of the queen. Without question, the most iconic moment from this season is Sandra's 1-0 blindside. After Sandra made a deal with Denise, offering her the idol in exchange for a fire token, Denise knew that since she had 2 idols, she could take out whoever she wanted. And with that, Queen Slayer Denise was born.
If anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so.
Jeff, can you give me a minute?
Sure.
Are you kidding me right now?
Just hoping. Maybe this will settle my stomach. I don't know. I found something along the way today.
Have a seat.
Okay.
This is a hidden immunity idol. Any votes cast for Denise will not count. I'll read the votes.
Jeff, can you give me one more minute?
Yes.
I'd like to play those for Jeremy.
For Jeremy. All right, I'll read the votes. First vote, Denise does not count. Denise does not count. Denise does not count. Denise does not count. 1 vote left. Eighth person voted out of Survivor Winners at War. Sandra.
How is that possible, man?
Sandra, the tribe has spoken. Time for you to go.
Day 16 got me again.
Bye, Sandra.
Wow.
And finally, we wrap up with season 41. And it's really cool that 41 seasons into Survivor, we're still getting super iconic moments. In this case, we've already gotten 2 seriously iconic moments. And I'll be honest with you guys, I actually already had the moment from the season picked out. It was originally going to be Xander's Duke on Liana. Heck, I even said this line when first recording. Even though Survivor 41 isn't finished yet, I'd be willing to bet a lot of money that any other moments this season will not surpass the moment we got at the final 12. Well, as I record this on Thanksgiving Day, all I can say is I'm thankful we got the final 8 episode before I published this video. And yes, I can now confidently say this will be the most iconic thing people remember about this season. The most iconic moment from season 41 is Shan's blindside at the final 8. And you see, maybe you could call it naive of me to think that Shan's blindside, if it were to happen, wouldn't top Xander's bluff to Liana. And honestly, the blindside itself wasn't what made it so epic. It was the entire episode from top to bottom. We got footage of the Black Alliance debating on what to do, as they had the dilemma of playing for themselves or to play for the greater good in the black community. You have Ricard being targeted for this very reason, as he was closest to Shan, and that would force Shan to go to the end with the 4 if Ricard was out of the game. But when Ricard got wind of this and won immunity, he knew that the time was now to turn on Shan, in one of the most cold-blooded betrayals in Survivor history. This was a top-tier episode, which cemented the downfall of Shan's insane Survivor run.
We always said when the time was right, we'd give each other permission to do this. I'm so sorry. Don't trust it.
11th person voted out, the 4th member of our jury, Shan.
That was good.
True game, Shan.
Liana, you played Uber, Ricard, you have my vote for $1 million. Deshaun, you're a snake.
Wow.
Jeff, don't do it.
I take no joy in this.
I know. I played a good game, and this was a dream come true. I love you, babe.
Shan, Tribe has spoken.
Good job, Shan.
Good game, Shan.
Time for you to go.
Thank you guys for watching both parts of this iconic moment series. And again, let me know in the comments what moment was your favorite, or if there's moments that you would have put on the list instead. If you like what you see, then smash that like and subscribe button, and also let me know what other kind of videos you would like to see from me, where I go through every Survivor season to talk about a certain topic. With all that said, thanks so much again, and I'll see you guys next time.